Hello everyone, my name is Gia. Welcome to another Draw With Me video. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit sick. It doesn't really sound like I am sick, but I can feel it. My nose is a little bit stuffy, so I hope that's not too distracting. So the footage that you're seeing currently in this video where I'm drawing this cute little witch character, I was initially going to use this footage for a Q&A video that I promised in like September, I think. That was a couple months ago. And yeah, things didn't really work out. Yeah, I was gonna use this for a Q&A video for reaching 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which is amazing, which is really cool, but things got busy and I got a bit sick during that time and projects were coming up. I was dealing with school. So yeah, things didn't really work out. I also had a big problem with the footage. After I finished recording everything, I was ready to import all my videos and start editing. I realized I was missing over half of the footage. The first drawing session of this illustration was gone. I used my phone to record my Draw With Me's, and it has very limited storage. It has I think 60 gigabytes or 64 gigabytes. It's not a lot. And I have a lot of photos and videos on my phone. So I can record up to an hour and a half, I think. And once I reach the hour and a half, it would pop up this little square that says your storage is full, and I can no longer record. So once I see that square, I'd stop recording, and I would import all the footage I just filmed to my iPad, because that's what I used to edit. It has a way more storage than my phone, and then I would delete all that footage on my phone once I exported everything so I can film again. And I had 2 drawing sessions with this illustration, and this is the second drawing session that you're watching right now. The first one is gone, just disappeared, nowhere to be seen. I guess I'm assuming that I forgot to export the footage from my phone to my iPad, and I accidentally deleted it on my phone, thinking that I exported it. All of that is gone. The footage that you're seeing now is just me rendering, which is my favorite part, not gonna lie. But all the good stuff was in the beginning when I was sketching and I was picking colors. So yeah, I was thinking maybe I should just wait until I reach a different milestone until I do a Q&A video, because this video is a little bit of a mess and it was a journey to edit. But I didn't want to just let this rot in my files. I actually wanted to use it, and I want to upload one more video before the year ends. I think this is my final video for the year. I might do one more, maybe. I don't think so. I know that once the year ends, I know that this footage is just way too old to be used, and so I just want to use it now. So this witch illustration is a Draw This in Your Style entry for my friend's Draw This in Your Style challenge. This was a little bit out of my comfort zone because it's in a color palette that I've never really used before. Most of my illustrations use very cool color palettes. I use lots of blues and purples, and those are colors that are in my comfort zone. I know how to use them, but warm color palettes I've just always struggled with. Also, the values are a little darker, which I am also not comfortable using darker values, but I actually quite like how this looks. I like the contrast with the line art and the colors. I also really like the shapes. I did add a couple of changes, I changed her sleeves and the skirt part of her dress to a cream color because I think it just adds more contrast. Also, I have this pulled up on my laptop right now, and as I'm looking at this, the anatomy looks really weird to me. I don't know about you. I did notice this a little bit when I posted it, and of course, only when I uploaded it that I can see all the mistakes that I've made. I couldn't really tell what was wrong with it. I knew her like pose is a bit off, but I just couldn't explain why. But I've been studying anatomy recently, which I'll talk about later, and I can kind of see why it just looks really weird. For one, the position of the torso is really weird because like the upper part of her torso is facing the camera, but then her hips are facing forward, and it looks really uncomfortable. Also, I really struggled with her arm, not the one that's holding her hat, but the one that's next to her, just on the side. I don't know how to draw the arm just like straight. There's something about it. I don't know like the muscles and how it looks in this specific position to draw. So yeah, it looks really weird to me. But everything else I really like, and it got me out of art blogs, so I like this even more. I also want to talk very quickly about something that I shared on my social media. I think it's been 2 weeks now. I posted on my story on Instagram, and I tweeted about it as well, that I will be taking a break from social media because of my health. I won't go into too much detail, of course, but I want to clarify that it's nothing too crazy. I'm not in any physical pain or anything, but I've been dealing with it for the past couple years, and it's just been really, really bad the past month. And I've been observing my symptoms for a while, and I know that it's triggered through stress. And so I know that social media makes me feel very overwhelmed and stressed. So I thought, just for the sake of my health, that I should take a break. However, I did want to post a couple more things before I really log off completely. For one, I posted my Elsa illustration. For those who don't know, the 10-year anniversary for Frozen was in November, and I didn't want to miss it because, you know, it's an anniversary. I didn't want to miss the day, so I wanted to draw Elsa really quick for my friend. She likes Elsa and Frozen. We watched Frozen 2 together, and I remember drawing Elsa for her a long time ago, and I was like, let me draw her again. And I might have a couple more things to post by the end of the year, but then I'll just be logged off for a while. I might come back occasionally, but it's going to be very quiet on my social medias and on YouTube. 2024 is going to be a very busy year for me with school, so because I've been prioritizing art way too much recently, and it's just been kind of getting in the way. Like, I love art. I love that when I feel stressed, I go to it. But that's kind of the problem. I would get stressed out because of school, and then I'll go to art, and I'll just be stuck drawing for hours and hours, and then I end up not doing what I'm supposed to be doing for school. So yeah, I think I need this break. I also took the same break last year in 2022. I didn't post anything for 6 months because I was graduating that year. Okay, so yeah, with all that out of the way, I want to talk about other things. All those were kind of negative, not gonna lie, but I have other things I do want to talk about, more positive stuff for this video. One thing I've been doing recently is I've just been studying like crazy. I've been studying lots of art the past couple of months. I was watching a Mew Tripled video. It was a video where she talked about different art challenges you could try in 2023. I think she uploaded that earlier this year. And one of those challenges was to work on your draftsmanship, focus on the art fundamentals, focus on sketching, focus on structure, and that's what I wanted to work on this year. Last year, I didn't think I had a goal. I don't think. I just drew whatever. But this year I was like, okay, I want to draw a lot this year, and I want to sketch a lot this year. I mainly studied anatomy this year, and I hope that my progress is visible. I hope that you can see the first post I made this year and compare it to now and see how much I've improved. But also, I was trying different rendering techniques. I was switching up my art process. I tried a lot of different brushes. I took a couple of different courses and watched lots of videos, and of course I drew a lot. One of the courses that I took was Proco's anatomy course, or is it the anatomy course? I think it's the figure drawing course. I think I started it in May this year, but I got burnt out. I remember watching a podcast video. They have like the podcast uploaded on their YouTube channel, and they were answering questions from viewers, and one of them was like, when taking one of your courses, when do you move on? And they were talking about the figure drawing course, and I thought that's a very good question. Like, I don't know when you move on to the next lesson, and Stan said 2 weeks. So when you finish a lesson, study it for 2 weeks, practice it for 2 weeks, and then move on to the next one. I did that for the first chapter of the lessons. I reached I think the bean part of the course, and that's when I got burnt out. I do that quite often. I've started courses before, and I end up getting really tired in the beginning or halfway through, and then I stop. And I think I've only ever finished like 2 art courses ever. So yeah, but one day I'm hoping that I'll make it through the entire Proco course. I use the free videos, by the way. I can't afford the full course, but eventually I would like to afford and buy one of Proco's courses. So yeah, the first part of the course focuses on gesture and doing quick sketches. And then I gave up on that for like a couple months. I did do some figure drawings here and there, but I just wasn't really focusing on it too much because I wanted to draw and paint other things. But then in October last month, I bought an anatomy book for the first time. This was my first anatomy book. I bought the Morpho Simplified Forms book. I think it's the second book in the series. It's very small. It was like $12 on Amazon. And although it doesn't teach you, like there's no instructions on how to draw these things, it's used more as like a reference book, and there's a lot of things in it that I've never drawn before, and so I found it very insightful, and I quite like this book, and I'm hoping to get the other books in the series. I used that book for like a month, and the title says simplified forms, so all the drawings have simplified forms of the body, and I just redrew them on my sketchbooks, so a lot of my pages recently are just anatomy studies. But then, a couple days ago, I started doing figure drawings again. I used the website Line of Action, but I remember last year I bought a subscription for Croquis Cafe. Croquis Cafe is like a life drawing website where they show like weekly videos of figure drawing models, and I love their website so much. And you do have to pay for a subscription, but it's yearly and it's only like $35, and I think it's so worth it. Mine's about to end very soon. I've been using that website for my figure drawings, and I saw an improvement compared to my figure drawings from May. I had a problem in the beginning where I would draw just too fast. I was too stressed out over the timer that I would rush my lines, and my figure drawings in May they look very rushed, and I didn't care too much about line quality. I was way too focused on trying to make sure I have everything put down in a 30-second gesture, which is really funny because 30-second gestures are meant to be very simple. You have to focus on the rhythm and flow of the body, not the bumps and the contours of it. But what's funny is, the problem I have now is that I draw way too slow. I noticed now that when I was doing the 30-second gestures, I was really struggling, because I would make it to like the hips, and then the timer's up. But I love the longer sessions when I can draw for like 5 minutes or even 10 minutes, because then I can really take my time, and I can really analyze the body a lot more. Although I still need to practice and work on my figure drawings, because I don't have a lot of line confidence right now because I'm holding my pencil differently, and I also have a different drawing setup so that it's more suited for figure drawings. But I am quite happy where they're headed. These are the kind of sketches I've been wanting to make. I never realized like what the problem was. But yeah, I'm quite happy with my sketches right now. Oh, and speaking of sketch, I do want to talk about this one problem I had with sketching. Recently, I really love sketching traditionally, but it's really, really hard for me to sketch digitally and make it look good. I don't know what it is. It's just so much harder to draw digitally. I use an old iPad model. I use Procreate mainly for my digital art, and yeah, I use an older iPad model. It has a home button. That's how you know how old it is. And with my specific iPad model, it uses the first generation Apple Pencil. And one thing I've observed, I can't like rotate the pencil and have the brush also rotate. It just stays in one position most of the time. I also draw on the glass, and it's very slippery. I was thinking of investing on a matte screen protector or a paper-like screen protector where it feels like paper. I found out that it can actually cause wiggly lines, and I want to avoid that because I had a tempered glass screen protector on before, but then I realized it was giving me shaky lines because of the gap between the pencil and the screen. So I took it off and the problem was solved. So I don't think I'll be investing in a matte screen protector, even if it might help improve my sketches. Maybe it's my brush or the brush settings. I've been kind of meddling with it a little bit. I found a brush though that I kind of like, but I'm not sure yet. I remember uploading a video where I studied anatomy. It was a draw with me video, and I look at those sketches and then I look at the sketches on my sketchbook, and I just like how they look in my sketchbook, not on my iPad. Yeah, that's just what I've been doing like this whole year really. It's just study a lot of anatomy, but I haven't been practicing a lot of color. There isn't too much of an improvement with my colors, with my lighting and shading. I think that's one thing I'll tackle next year, where I'll just work on colors and painting studies, film studies of movies and shows that I love. I also want to talk about one more course that I took this year, which was Drawbox. Drawbox is this art resource online where they teach you how to sketch dynamically. I watched this random reel on Instagram about the website and I was just hooked immediately. I think the most helpful thing I learned from that course was it taught me how to sketch with my shoulder. You're given all these exercises where you need to draw like a bunch of circles and lines and squares, and just this whole process where you need to use like printer paper and you need to use a pen with a needle point, and most importantly you need to draw with your shoulder. I compared it to like your posture. You know how like you'll be hunched over on your desk and then you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna stand up and have good posture, but then you don't realize it, but then you slowly like hunch back down and you have bad posture again. That's the same thing with drawing from your shoulder, because with the way you use your pencil for like all your life, you would use it to write, and when writing you need a lot of precision when writing words because they're so small on the paper, so you need to write with your wrist. We all naturally do that when you hold a pencil and we draw. We use our wrist, but drawing from your shoulder requires practice. I would practice drawing from my shoulder, but then I noticed that I would slowly go back to drawing from my wrist. So yeah, I learned that has something that you really need to train your body to do. And same thing with the Proco course, I also got burnt out with this one. I made it to part of the course where you have to draw boxes in perspective, and different kinds of perspective. And yeah, that's when I got burnt out. But I'm so glad I took this course because it changed my sketching so much. Like, I'm so glad I'm easily influenced from Reels. Anyway, I'll have everything linked in a description of all the resources that I talked about in this video, as well as some other resources that I used that I didn't mention. yeah, I'm quite proud with the amount of progress I made this year and with my anatomy progress, and I'm really looking forward to see where my art abilities are at next year if I continue to consistently practice anatomy. I don't know, I might get very busy. I'm hoping next year I can finish Proco's anatomy course. I've actually been watching and continuing the course recently after I got back to figure drawings again. But knowing me, I don't know if I'll ever finish that course. So yeah, I think I'm reaching around the end of the video now. I've been talking a lot. This recording took a while to record. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to make and upload maybe one more video by the end of the year, and then I'll take a huge break from social media, but I'm not sure yet. But if I don't, then I guess that's it for me for the end of the year. Hope you guys have a good holidays. Goodbye!